Hey everyone, Sheree here. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be creating a 12 by 12 layout using the April sketch from Felicity Jane as my inspiration. I've designed this sketch this month. As you can see, we've got a circular element in the center here with either two photos, or you could use a photo and a journaling card. We've got some labels here as well, a lovely big floral piece down in the corner there with some butterflies. And for my journaling, I've decided to go around the outside edge of the circle, and then we've got the title on the opposite side of the circle going around that edge. So that's the sketch I came up with. So that's what I'm going to be using as my guide to put this page together. So for my background, I am primarily using the Mari kit from this month from Felicity Jane, but for my background paper, I'm using this beautiful plaid paper from last month's Julia kit. I didn't get to use it last month, so I really want to use it for this page. Now for the circular element, I just wanted to show you that you really don't need a fancy die cutting machine for this. I just used a plate on my cardstock, I traced around it with a pencil, and I just fussy cut that using my scissors, and it's turned out absolutely fine. So that will be going on the center of my page. Now I've decided to add a little bit of texture to that by adding some, it's going to be a mix of hand stitching and machine stitching. So I've got this really old stitching template from Basil Basics paper. It's actually got the year on here, 2008, so I've had it for a really long time, but it just so happens to fit inside my circle. So I'm going to use my pokey tool here, and I'm going to just poke in some stitching holes, and I'll hand stitch that using some embroidery thread. Then I'll be adding it to the center of my page, and I'm going to use my sewing machine to add a row of zigzag stitch right around the outside of the circle. Now my embellishments today are all from the Mari kit, and I'm using the beautiful vellum butterflies. These layered butterflies are so cute. They've got that little bit of stitching down the center, which I love. I've also got one of the chipboard pieces here, the beautiful large floral piece. I've got another one there too. Some little hearts as well. I've got the designer tabs too, and I think I'm going to use this green one, which I've already cut in half. That's going to give me two pieces to use on this page, so I've got a little bit more of that green. Really love that green. I've also got my title ready to go, and I'm using the Mari chipboard alphabet for that. So I do also have the Essentials label stickers #1. I've chosen a yellow one of those to use, and I do have my journaling already typed out. I used my typewriter for this, typed out my sentence, and I've cut all the words up, and I'm planning on attaching those words right around the outside of my circle, just like what the sketch is showing there. Okay, I think I am ready to make a start. I've chosen to go with two photos for this one instead of a photo and a journaling card. So I've printed those out in black and white. I think that'll work really well with all the pretty colours around the outside. I've also got the Mari stamp set, which I'd like to use as well. Okay, I'm going to get right into it. So I will pop you on fast forward and show you how I'm going to put this one together. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to just attach my template to the front of my circle. So I'm just going to use some washi tape to hold that in place. So you can see here, I'm just going to flip it over, add a couple of pieces of washi, and now my template won't move, and I can go ahead and pierce all of those stitching holes. Now that the stitching holes are done, I'm just using some embroidery thread to just do a simple back stitch along the outside of the circle along my stitching holes. So I'll keep going with that until it's done. So you can see there, my stitching is now complete. I'm going to attach my white circle to the center of my background paper, and I will grab my T-square ruler and just make sure I do have that in the center as best I can. Okay, so that's stuck down now, so I'm going to grab my sewing machine, and I'm going to run a zigzag stitch right around the outside of the circle. So you can see there, so I've now got two rows of stitching, which I love. It's adding some really nice subtle texture there. Okay, so now I'm going to just work out my placement of my photos, my floral pieces, and my title and journaling as well. So you can see there I've got my photos there, I've got that floral piece down in the bottom corner. I prepared my letter stickers earlier to make sure they were going to fit nicely around the curve. So you can see that I'm just putting them into place, to work out the spacing for everything. I've also got my journaling there, all the little words that I've cut up into pieces. That's going to allow me to put them around the curve nicely. You can see there, that's now all in place. So I do have enough room to stick everything down, just adding a little bit more to that floral piece down the bottom corner, and I will also have a butterfly down there. Just having another look at that sketch there, I'm really just following the sketch as it is. So now I'm going to go ahead and start sticking these things down, starting with that chipboard floral piece. So just double-sided tape behind that, and I've got that other little die cut piece just tucked under the edge. So I'll just add a bit of adhesive to that as well. Just tuck it under that edge there. And now I'll go ahead and start adding all of my letter stickers. I won't make you watch me do all of that, but I'll also stick down my words as well. So you can see here, I'm just adding the last two words of my journaling now, using my tweezers to get that into place because they are a little bit fiddly, but I'm really happy with how that looks. So now I'm going to head and add my photos onto the page. So I was deciding whether to add some foam adhesive behind one of them, but I decided to leave them flat, and I will use some foam adhesive for the other embellishments I'll be putting around these photos. Okay, so getting those into position, get those stuck down, and then I can start adding some other bits and pieces. Okay, just making sure that floral piece sticks down properly. Alright, so I'm just going to play around with the butterflies now, just deciding what colours or what colour combination I want to use for those. And there's two different sizes in this butterfly pack as well. So I'm just working out where I want the larger butterflies and where I want the smaller butterfly. So I decided I want that darker pink one down in the bottom corner, and I've gone with another pink at the top right, and then that mustard yellow one at the top of my photo. So I'm going to use glue dots to stick these into place, so they're going to be nice and secure and they won't just fall off the page, and that'll allow the wings to pop up still as well. Just a little adjustment there with that floral die cut. Okay, so I'll stick those other butterflies down as well. So I've got that yellow one going in the top corner there. I'm just working out which direction I want each butterfly to be pointed to as well. So I want them all slightly different. So that last butterfly is going right in that top corner. Just fluffing up those wings. They are so pretty, these butterflies. I love them. I'm going to be very sad when I run out of these. Just a few more little adjustments there. Okay, so now I can start with my little tab pieces and labels as well. So I am going to use some foam adhesive behind that green tab on the top of my photo. I've got a yellow Essentials label sticker that I'm putting at the bottom of that second photo and making a little cluster with the other piece of the green tab and that pink label as well. So I'm just working out where I want each of those to go. Now what I'm going to do is grab my sewing machine and add some stitching to the green tab pieces and also to that Essentials label sticker, just to add a little bit more texture. So my tab is adhered down with some foam adhesive there just to raise it up off the page a little bit, and I'm also putting some behind this pink label as well. So just putting that into position. And now I also want to add a little something to that other space. So I decided on a chipboard heart, little black and white one here with little black hearts on it, super cute. So I'm just going to add that next to that pink label. Alright, so next up I'm going to do a little bit of stamping using the Mari stamp set. So I'm going to first off just stamp the date using my roller date stamp, and then I'm just choosing a couple of phrases from the Mari stamp set. So I've got love this and more of this, and you'll see shortly I do change my mind about the more of this, and I swap to this other phrase that says today is a good day. So my date has already been adhered to that pink label, and now I've got this typed piece and the stamped piece going onto that yellow Essentials label sticker, and the love this is going onto that tab. So I just felt it needed a little bit to the right of that second photo. So I've just grabbed another floral die cut piece, and that's just going to be peeking out from under that photo. And I've decided to raise the edge of that up with some foam adhesive as well. And you'll see I'll go back to that first floral die cut. I'm going to add some foam adhesive behind that too, just to add a little bit more dimension there. Okay, so I will give you a closer look at all the details here. You can see the stitching, the journaling, those butterflies, the stamped pieces, and I'm really happy with how this has come together. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've used the sketch today, and I do hope you'll join in the challenge as well. I'll pop a link down below to the blog post where you can see what the other creative team members have come up with, and it's definitely worth a look because they have created some gorgeous projects. Please let me know if you've got any questions. Just pop it down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope to see you soon with another project. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you again soon.